Hey everybody, what is going on? CerealOverdrive here, and today we're talking about Rust Console Community servers, specifically a CerealOverdrive community server, because I want to do a community server, and I want to go over some of the prizes that people are going to be able to get for playing the server, what my ideas are for the server, and most importantly, get your opinions on all of this, because if you don't like the way I'm doing things, it'd be good to know in the comments. Can't promise I'll address every comment because, let's be honest, pretty much every Rust video I do, there's someone commenting I'm too positive and also someone commenting I'm too negative about the game, which if you've got a room temperature IQ, that's literally impossible. Anyways, for those of you that are going a little bit above room temperature, let's get into community servers, what I plan to do with it, how we plan to make things work, and sort of my hope for the CerealOverdrive community server or servers, hint hint. So first off, where am I going to host it? I'm going to be hosting it probably USA, East Coast, West Coast. I'm not 100% sure there. If there's something in the Midwest, that would actually probably be best because you're just in between the two coasts. I think a lot of the people that are watching my videos are going to be from the US, obviously. I do have a decent contingent in Britain and Australia. So yeah, for expansion, that would be probably the ideal path that I take. One server in the US, and then if things go well, do one in Europe and maybe one in Australia, and we can sort of go out from there. But yeah, basically for the community, I've got to look where most of the community is, and that would be the United States. So first community server is going to be there. The community server, as far as how it's going to be structured, it's going to be sort of a less intense community server. Now, again, it's some of you are Chads, you're just blowing things away. You haven't seen the anatomy of a single other person because you're too busy playing Rust. Now, you're always welcome on my servers, but at the same time, if you're just destroying the server, I'm going to have to message you and just say, hey, you win, you can't play anymore. Like, I don't want to kick people out, but basically, I'd have to message some of you that are just way too good and say, you know, keep playing, keep defending yourself, obviously, but maybe hold off on the raids a little bit until we get towards the end of wipe. Or if you're a huge clan, like if you're 17, 20, 69 people all playing on the same server together as a group, I might have to message you and tell you to stop picking on the solo because one, it's not fair, and two, it just ruins the server. I get this is gonna leave like a sour taste in some people's mouths, right? Like what I do every weekend, but I don't want to be too harsh, but at the same time, like if someone's just doing so good, I want to be able to message them and say, hey, you're killing it, you're amazing, but at the same time, like you're so good, you're sort of killing the server. So maybe you could just help some newbies out, or you know, do something a little bit different instead of just raiding people. Hopefully people are gonna be open to that. Hopefully they're gonna be open to just accepting the fact that they won, accepting the fact that they've destroyed the server, they're better than everybody else, and if they keep playing like this, there's gonna be nobody else to be better than. So it's best to either help people along or just sort of run an oil rig or do something else. Maybe start a shop, a hotel. You see what I'm saying here. Maybe if you're solo and you're just killing it, you can go raid a clan. Like, that seems like a fair fight. If you're really good and they're really bad, it can work out. I'm not the best Rust player, but I've had situations where I've been able to take on a clan of 4 and hold my own, which is it's a really good feeling. It's a lot better than holding your own versus one person. So yeah, that's where we're at as far as that. It's going to be sort of that weekend warrior type server. That's who it's going to be appealing to. So the way it's going to work is, the way I'm hoping I can make it work is, it's going to be a 2x or 3x server. I'm thinking 2x, but I might go 3x. You're going to log in, and hopefully I'm going to be able to disable items. So the first week and a half, I'm going to hopefully be able to have C4, rockets, and explosive ammo disabled. So you can't craft it. I know this sounds like madness. Give me a second here. You'll still be able to loot it. So if you loot C4, you can go ahead and use that, but you won't be able to craft it. At least that's how I'm hoping to do it. The reasoning behind this is, if you're new to the game, if you're weekend warrior, if you're someone who's not playing Rust 24/7, having that week and a half where you know your base most likely won't get raided is a bit of a relief, right? You can build up the base that you've always wanted to build up. You can get something like 2 weekends worth of gameplay, and then you're going to see if that base will stand the test of time, if it will hold when people decide to raid it, if it is just so lucrative looking, if you've made it so enticing that everybody just goes ahead and destroys it, burns it down to rubble to see what's inside, or if you've properly made a sleeper base that people just walk right by and don't think anything of. Also, it's going to push raiding back, I think, which is going to add some sort of nice elements to the server later on. Like, there's going to be a little bit more time to sort of get to know your neighbor, a little bit more time to get these dynamics going and a story going and feel like this guy is my enemy this wipe, or this person's my friend. Get that sort of dynamic going, get a little bit more of a conversation going, and then after that week and a half, everything breaks loose. All mayhem breaks loose. So week and a half, no rating with C4, rockets, or explosive ammo. After that week and a half, you're going to have one normal week. So everything's on the table. You can craft everything. You're spawning in as normal. Everything's just sort of on the table. It's a normal sort of Rust wipe. After that week, so now we're about 2.5 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks in, this is when sort of people start to get bored, right? Because at this point, bases that have survived, and bases that have been raided got raided. This is when you start to spawn in and you're getting something a little bit nicer. Instead of spawning in with a rock and a torch, maybe for the first couple days you're spawning in with like a bow. So now you can try and make those harder to get plays. If you're a YouTuber, like some of us here, you can get on and you can try and make some cool plays with the bow. Maybe you can take someone out that has an AK. It feels good. You don't have to run around and farm up wood and cloth. You just start off, you got your arrows, got your bow, boom, go at it. Also for people looking for someone to still fight with, you got those bow boys. Then after a couple days, you're going to start logging in. And now instead of a bow, you're going to be logging in with a revolver. After a couple more days, instead of a revolver, now you got a Thompson. And finally, by the end of the wipe, you've got your AK or your MP5, we're going to see, and your C4. And you're just going in, you're spawning in, and you've got everything you need to wreak havoc because it is the last day. We need an end of wipe event, and that end of wipe event is going to be complete chaos. If your base survives an end of wipe event, you have an elite tier base. But end of wipe events, those come on. Maybe we're going to make like an end of wipe weekend because I feel like that would be better because more people could be online. But basically the idea behind this is to keep the server fresh throughout the whole month. Different events are going on and like, you know, maybe you're someone who just likes raiding. You can get in a week and a half into the game and people might like, maybe not a week and a half, but like a week in, build up your base, and then half a week goes by and you're online raiding. Or maybe you're someone who just likes the chaos. You can get in at the end of the wipe and still have a chance at raiding some bases that were legitimately built and we'll say illegitimately taken down. So yeah, that's the idea for the server. Again, a weekend warrior server, but I did mention prizes. So what are the prizes going to be? Now, we could do a prize for sort of like the biggest clan or the person with the biggest D, but that just doesn't feel right to me. So what I think we'd want to do is something where like on my Discord, there should be a link down below in the description, by the way, but on my Discord, people can vote. Like just vote for what player you thought was the friendliest, and they're going to be the ones to get the award. What award is it going to be? I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get something from, if you know Loot Room, they do real life Rust items. So they've got like these sick AKs and everything like that, but those are a little expensive. So I don't think these, we'll see, but I'm going to go get into that later. I don't think the server is going to be insanely profitable or anything like that. So most likely it's going to be like a little Ioka or something like that, but it's going to be a real life item that you're going to get. Maybe see if we can get some writing on it that says like CerealOverdrive Community Server, you know, friendliest player, winner, something like that. We'll figure all that out later, okay? But that's going to be the prize, right? Like at the end of the wipe, you can vote for who's the friendliest, who helped the most people out, something like that, and yeah, you'll get a prize. As far as the moderation goes, yours truly is not really going to be a moderator. I don't want to be dealing with it, right? Like, here's the thing with servers. First off, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter how many times I say I'm not a moderator, I'm going to get the stuff, right? Like, the thing with Rust is there are a lot of sort of bad actors when it comes to this game. Like, there's a lot of people playing this game that make some of the racist people you run into in real life look pretty decent, you know? Like, you see that guy who's got the Hitler stash and the Nazi tattoos, and after playing Rust for a couple days, you're like, hey, he might be yelling racial epithets in the parking lot, but he's not as bad as some of these people I've run into in the game. Like, seriously, there's some really bad people. Like, I've gotten the DMs, I've gotten the messages. It can be a real headache when you run into one of these characters. And if you're one of these characters, honestly, I'd rather you don't be on the server because I'm just going to have to ban you. There's going to be bad feelings. You're going to send me some bad messages. End of the day, I've been on YouTube. I've been on the internet long enough that it's not going to be the end of the world for me. I'm not going to make some big video on it, but we're just going to have to part ways, and, you know, it's awkward. All this is to say I'm not going to be a moderator, but even though I'm not going to be a moderator, I know I'm still going to be dealing with it. So these servers aren't going to be coming out in November, December. That would not be fair to my family, my friends, and especially my kids. Like, the holidays are coming up. If you got kids, like, they deserve that, like, special Christmas. They deserve that, like, that feeling of what Christmas is. Like, I don't know if you guys had this, but, like, when you're a kid, like, you wake up and, like, not just Christmas, but that whole month is just this amazing experience. For some of it, you're off from school. You're doing all sorts of Christmas activities. You're baking cookies, going sledding. Your parents are taking you shopping. You're looking at gifts. You're sort of like drooling over the magazine. I guess magazines probably aren't a thing anymore, but they're definitely not a thing anymore. but you're just drilling over the latest item. You're imagining how you're going to open those gifts and play with that gift, what you're going to play first, what you're going to put to the side. You're thinking maybe I'm going to leave one gift unwrapped, or sorry, one gift wrapped under the tree so that on the 26th, I still have something to play with. It's just such a magical time. And for me to be dealing with everything that comes with the Rust server around then is going to ruin my mood. That's going to play onto my kids. That's going to play onto my family, my friends. It's just not fair. We're going to be doing it in January. That's what this is getting at. January, that's when these servers are going to be coming out, assuming that the console edition Rust D11 comes through. And when I say come through, like, there is a very high likelihood that things don't go the way I'm planning. There's a very high likelihood that a 3x server is literally just 3x the loot rate. They want $100 for it, and that is all you get to do. Like, if that's it, I'm not going to be supporting that, right? Like, I have a right to not buy dog shit, even though I'm making a video like this. I've got a really cool community that I love, and I'd love to have official servers for the community, but who knows? Like, depending on what comes out, I might not be buying it, right? Like, if you go to McDonald's and you look at the menu and it's all dog shit, like literal dog shit, you probably don't want to order. You walked into the room, you're looking at that menu, you're not savoring over the fries because, frankly, they look disgusting. There's a bunch of black stuff floating in there, and you just walk away. You leave. You don't buy anything, and that's what might happen here. I feel like it's not. I have faith in D11. I have faith that they're going to come through. Just like I have faith that my father's going to come back after that milk run he went on in 1995. No, my dad's actually a great guy, still around. And he's gone for milk, but he's always come back. So, yeah. Anyways, no, like, it all depends on them, right? Like, if they come through, that's going to be amazing. This is all going to go through. But if things don't go through, like, I'm not going to just give them money because they said they'd do something and they didn't quite come through and they cut a lot of corners and said, hey, is this good enough? No. So it all depends on that. But yeah, servers coming out in January. I've got someone official. I'm not going to make it official yet, but I've got someone that I've talked to that wants to mod the servers. They seem pretty trustworthy. They seem like someone that's not going to be able to get bribed. So I think I'm going to go with them. You guys are going to have to let me know how things go for that first sort of like test period. If everybody likes it, if everybody loves the mods, then we can keep going with it. If they don't, maybe we can reapproach this and we can find someone else to lead the team, or maybe we need to 2-3 leaders. Maybe we have just 2-3 mods. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be like a democratic system where people vote on who to ban, but I could see that going completely haywire. We're going to see where that goes. But yeah, I've got someone lined up to mod for it. They've got like a few people that they're going to use as a team. I've talked to them all. They seem pretty cool. When I say talk, I've just messaged them on Discord, but they all seem pretty cool. It doesn't seem like this is a chat bot or anything like that. I'm not getting catfish because it's not the type of thing I do. I'm happily with like a family. Like, just, yeah, that's not going to happen to me because that's not what I'm looking for. Basically, everything seems legit here. It seems like it's going to go through. I did have someone lined up to do mods way back in the day for the community servers when they didn't come out. That person, and well, I'm not going to say anything bad, but they're not going to mod these servers this time around just because of some incidents that have happened with them. But yeah, like, it seems like we're all good to go. It seems like these things are going to pop off. As far as bans and stuff like that goes, there's probably going to be some people that get banned, but we're going to do wipes every couple months. So, if you get banned from the server, it's nothing personal. It does happen, but you're going to have a chance to come back and make it up. Like, I don't think we're going to be doing permabans. I always feel like it's just too strict. Like, a year, for me, I'm older. A year isn't that much time. Like, you're not going to get my whole attitude to change in a year. But from someone that's like 15 to 16, 16 to 17, 17 to 18, there's a lot of growing that can happen in that 1 year. So I don't want someone to be affected for something they said when they were younger and have that just follow them for the rest of their lives. And I feel like it would be unfair to just permanently ban people and say, you can never come back. Like, you're banished from the community. It just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like one of those things that, like, you should be getting a chance every couple months. And if it becomes too much of an overhead for mods, maybe it's every year. And I think that's as far as I'm willing to take bans. Anyways, got that out of the way. Now we got to get to that awkward thing. I got to open up my pants and ask for some money. And by that, I mean, I've been digging through my closet. I found some really nice looking Jordans. I've got this tight spandex. I cut the tips off the Jordans so you can see a little bit of a toe. And there's this site called we're not gonna be doing that to pay for servers. But if you donate, you can pay me not to do that. And by keeping those pictures on my phone instead of out in the world, you're doing a service to just humanity. Imagine a 300-pound man with a hairy chest and feet that look like they've walked through a Vietnamese jungle. That's not me at all, but that's a really, really scary image to imagine. But yeah, we just don't want that stuff out there. But no, as far as payment goes, as far as like how this server is gonna make money, because if I make a video like this video is probably gonna be like 20 minutes long. The revenue I'm probably gonna get on this video, if I had to guess, $10 to $20. 10's gonna be on the low side, 20's on the high side. If I'm really lucky, if somehow this video goes viral and gets like 50,000 views, I'm probably gonna be getting like $60. And I don't think that's going to be happening too often. I don't think this video is going to be doing it. If it's a shorter video, there's a slightly higher chance that it happens, but then the revenue is lower. Longer videos make more money, but less people watch them because there's more like of an investment that you need to do. So basically what I'm saying is making Rust videos is not going to support these servers, especially not if I want to do servers for places like the UK, places like Australia. And then if I want to do like 1 or 2 PvE servers and things like that, try and make like a whole CerealOverdrive community of community servers, that can't be supported by this channel. It doesn't make enough money. Even if I start throwing in all the other videos and everything that this channel makes, it still doesn't make enough money. YouTube is not my career. A lot of people have like insulted me by saying like, "Hey, you should get a job." I have a job. I have a job, and it actually pays me very well. So I don't need the money, but at the same time, I'm not willing to just pay for community servers as a whole, charity thing that I'm doing for the community. I have charities that I'd rather give the money to. So here's where we're at. I'm not trying to run some sort of crazy profitable business. I don't want to be taking home enough money to buy a Lambo every month. But at the same time, I don't want to be taking an L on servers either. Too big of an L. So there will be donations. I say donations, but I want you to get something back in return for those donations. The easiest thing to do is like priority slots. I'm hoping that servers are going to have that, whereas if you pay a little bit of money, you can get a priority slot. So like the first 95 people just get into the server. There's 5 slots left open for priority donators. Maybe we even do like 10 slots or something like that. If you've donated probably like $5 or $10 a month, you can get those priority slots. That's easy enough to do. In addition to that, if I could, and I'm not 100% sure on the logistics of that, what I'd like to do is if you've donated, like let's say like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months in a row or something like that, it wouldn't be donations, but if you've given money that many times in a row, you can get like a custom like CerealOverdrive community servers mug, like something like that, something that just sort of comes along as like a thank you gift that you're just going to get after doing it for so long. In addition, I'm thinking like, I don't want to do pay to win. So like we can't do something where it's like if you donate, you start with an AK. I don't think that would make sense whatsoever. I mean, this is where I've got to ask for community feedback. Like, what do you think would be fair? Some of you have already said like you just want to pay money and get a cool server to play on. I get that, but I don't think that's enough to actually support the servers, support payment of people who are moderating the servers, and support prizes. Even if we get rid of prizes, I don't think it's enough money to support servers and paying people to moderate those servers. So we've got to do a little bit extra to get some of the other people, some of you out there who probably don't want to donate, don't want to hit that like donation button, but would still support something if you got something back. And that's completely fair. So yeah, the idea would be like mugs or something like that, where you can buy an item or you can donate a set number of months in a row and then you get an item, right? Like, 3 payments of $10 or higher and you get a mug. 6 payments, maybe you get a t-shirt, something like that. Like, you're not going to be making your money back. These are going to be wildly expensive mugs, wildly expensive t-shirts. I don't expect anybody to give the money with the expectation that they're going to get a mug and they don't want to play on the servers, they don't want to support the channel. Like that's ridiculous. You're not getting your money's worth. But at the same time, if you're enjoying the servers, you're enjoying the channel, you're like, hey, I'm on the fence. Maybe I do want to do it, maybe I don't. Maybe being able to get a mug for $30 is enough. Now, I know there's some like influencers out there selling t-shirts for $50 and mugs for like $25. If I was going to do like a mug sale, like I know what it costs to make those. I'd probably sell it for something like $13. And if I was going to do t-shirts, I'd probably do something somewhere between $15 and $25. Just looking at like production quality and sort of what I'd be able to do given the size of my channel and the small scope of my following, that's probably where we'd be at. So being realistic, giving that to someone who's paid $60 or $30 respectively would make sense, I think. They're getting a little bit of something, they're overpaying a little bit. Like, it's just, I think it fits. And that's the best I can come up with, honestly. Like, I can't do much because you can't do skin boxes. So on the PC, you've got skin boxes, and that's where like you get access to all the skins. You can't do that because I don't think that D11 is going to be cutting into their skin profits. If they do, I will bow down and suck a, like I'd be blown. My mind would like, I'll do a face reveal. Like I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's in the cards. They will give you, however, access, I've already said this, to spawn items. So you could do like pay to win, where it's like, hey, you pay $25, you get an AK, or you pay $25, I'm going to give you like a whole thing of C4 or something crazy like that. I don't want to do that because that ruins the servers, in my opinion. Pay to win like that it completely ruins the servers, in my opinion. Like being able to pay and get like a VIP slot so that you can get into the server without waiting, that's a little pay to win. Like if there's a raid and someone says, hey, I need you online, having that access can give you an edge, but it's so little pay to win. Even when you look at skins and the advantage skins give you, I feel like a slot is not really pay to win, but it's just slightly. Whereas spawning in AKs or spawning in C4, spawning in items is clearly, blatantly pay to win, and I want to avoid that because I don't think that's fun for people who aren't paying, and I don't want to create a community server where you have to pay to feel like you're a part of the community. I want people who pay to feel like they've done something for the community, but not feel like it's required. So I don't think we're going to be selling items or anything like that. I honestly think it's just going to be, you get your VIP slot, and if you've done it for so many times, you're going to be able to get a mug, you're going to be able to get something cool. And maybe, maybe for like, if people have been going for a year, if people have been going for like a crazy amount of time, they've been doing a crazy amount of money, we can if it's enough people, I can try and contact like Loot Room or something like that and get some sort of like custom AK designed, like that could be sent out to people. But that would be if you all went above and beyond. And I don't think it's gonna happen because I know how expensive those things are. And like when I say I could do it, this would be like if we had like 100 people that were willing to pay like $50 a month or something like insane. I don't think no one should be willing to do that. But if for whatever reason that does happen, like we've got to go above and beyond, right? Like if that many people go above and beyond, I've got to go above and beyond, and I'd probably stress myself out trying to figure out what to do, and I don't know if I could do it. Like I do not want anybody to be donating that. Like I'm thinking like $5-10. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, like some of y'all might be Bill Gates. Maybe you're doing $20. Maybe you're doing 25. But I really don't feel like anyone should be going above that. And like if you are, obviously it's going to be like hugely appreciated. It's really going to help. But if you're paying the amount that it costs to get a community server to me for running community servers, that just doesn't feel right. And as far as money goes, I don't know if I've said this. I don't want to. This is the problem. I don't want to brag, but at the same time, I got to make it clear. Like I don't need the money. This is not, you're giving me money and I can feed my family with that money. This is not my full-time job. This is not something that I need. This is like, hey, it's a side business. Not even a business. It's like a side give back. And if we can make it break even, then I'm willing to keep doing it. But yeah, it's not supposed to be some sort of like money-making activity. I'm not short on money. It's just I'm not willing to donate money to the cause, I guess. Or like I'm not willing to donate the amount of money to the cause that I need to be putting in to get this whole thing running. Like, hopefully that makes sense. It's hard to say because I know there's some people that are like, well, if you got that money in your bank account, you could spend it and do this. And it's like, obviously I could. Like, I could go out and buy a Ferrari if I wanted to, but like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't financially make sense because is it gonna like long term? Is it gonna just drain things and then you're gonna be sitting there with like, that's the last thing I want. I want to like spend all this money to get community servers running, get something good going, and then it all falls apart because I can't keep going with it, or because like unexpected expenses come up, or because I need to save for retirement. Because I'm American. When you retire, like your health costs don't tend to just disappear. You still got to pay for some of that stuff. I know there's Medicare, but maybe I want to retire early. I want to retire like 50, 60. So I've got to be able to pay for insurance for 15, 5 years, whatever it is. And that can be really expensive, especially if you've had health issues happen. And some people are never able to retire because of that until they get that Medicare age. And even then, you've still got all this stuff. And like, there's a lot to consider. And I don't want to let like my kids down and then I can't afford their college or something like that. So like, when it comes to saving, like I've saved up a decent amount of money. I have a decent amount of money. I make a decent amount of money, but this isn't something that I'm willing to dump that much money into. If we're talking like $50 a month, yeah, we can do it. If we're talking 100, if we start talking like 500, 1,000, that's just not something I can do. Like that would be, the YouTube channel is nowhere near making that much right now. And yeah, hopefully everyone gets where I'm coming from. It's awkward to discuss this stuff because on one hand, I don't want to give the wrong impression and people donate because they feel bad for me. But on the other hand, I want to make sure that I'm not bragging, right? Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I've got this and I've got that and I've got all this expensive stuff. And it's just like, I don't want to do that. This is bullshit. I hate when people do that, and I'd be embarrassed if I was doing that. So I'm trying to like ride that line, and hopefully y'all get where I'm coming from. But yeah, that's where we sit with Rust Console Community servers. This video went way longer than I expected, so I apologize in advance for probably the choppy editing that you're going to get after like a couple minutes of this video, but I can't edit a 26-minute video and put it out in the time span that I need to. But yeah, that's where I stand with everything. Hopefully January we're going to have some amazing CerealOverdrive community servers, and hopefully everything's going to work out. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what people think specifically around like the monetization. Is it too much? Is like that's the thing, like, is having a VIP slot, is that too much? Is that too much of an advantage? Would people feel would you feel very broken up if you're raiding someone and they can get online faster than your friends and counter easier or something like that just because they had VIP? Or is that something that you'd understand that that's fair and you'd be like accepting of that? Does it feel too pay to win, I guess is what I'm asking. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. It's gone on long enough. Until next time, peace.